Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. We are live at DC's Fintech Week. We are now going to go over to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse giving a speech. So get ready. This could get very interesting. We're just waiting to make sure we've got it all set up. He will be going. We will be going straight towards to him. He is live from Fintech Week. So this is Brad Garlinghouse. He is at the DC Fintech Week 2025 at Amazon's HQ. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm just making sure we've got it all set up. And here we go. We are going live to Brad Garlinghouse. I'll give you all my thoughts, XRP's chart, everything straight after we go, after we've got everything from this speech. I think there's a Q&A as well. Here we go. This is Brad Garlinghouse, ladies and gentlemen.
This time. This is nice. Well, I'm very excited for this conversation. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, an absolute powerhouse, I think, both in the digital asset space and now in the Washington, D.C. space as well.
A lot has changed. 1 year ago, I was on this stage, and I was thinking about how much has changed even in that year, and it's profound.
I mean, that's what happens when a new administration comes into town, particularly one that had such a stark difference in crypto. I do want to start, though, as a Capitol Hill reporter, back a little bit with market structure. Obviously, you were listening with the last panel and kind of their assessment on things. Kind of sounds like this might be able to get done, perhaps not this year. But I'm kind of curious what you've been hearing, because Ripple, again, has become such a major player, I think, in politics on the Hill. What is your read of the tea leaves?
Well, I think one of the outcomes of having been the tip of the spear in the Biden administration's attack on crypto through the SEC is it kind of elevated Ripple's position. Even a year ago, sitting on this different building but stage, the SEC at that time was appealing the loss, and we were kind of continuing down this journey of the attack on crypto, and so we and many others in the industry always got more active in Washington, and
everyone hit the like button.
Profound to have
this is great.
Crypto Congress. The Clarity Act passed the House with like 78 Dems coming over to support a Republican bill, which I think is indicative of the desire for these technologies to be embraced. Ripple certainly will continue to be active. I don't know how to handicap the Senate. What's going on in the Senate with the Clarity Act, their version of the Clarity Act on the Senate side. I've listened to some of the earlier panels with interest on that. It's always hard to know, particularly during a government shutdown, like how that's going to play out. But look, I remain optimistic. The industry needs what Ripple has already achieved, which is clarity. Mm-hmm. And we had to get clarity through a $150 million lawsuit and a federal judge. But we think the whole industry should have that same clarity. And so we've been fighting for that, and we'll continue to do so.
Mm-hmm. Do you think when you talk with some of your folks on the Hill, does it seem like things are truly at the standstill that they are? Or is there do you still sense that there is bipartisan momentum to get this done?
I think there's some momentum. I think getting anything done in Washington these days is always a little tricky, but this is a topic which never should have been partisan, in my opinion. Like, it's almost like saying one side's pro-email and other side's anti-email, or one's pro-HTTP and anti. It's like, these are technologies. We shouldn't, I think about those in a partisan way. Almost as Brent McIntosh said at the last panel, it's, how are these technologies used is way more important. And I think sometimes we lose the plot and people get too caught up in some of the politics of it. But look, I'm still hopeful when you see that kind of bipartisan support in the House. And certainly, again, you're seeing leadership from Senator Alsobrook, Senator Gallego on the Dem side, and you're certainly seeing tons of leadership on the right. I still think there's a chance that happens this year.
Mm-hmm. And kind of staying in the politics realm for just a minute here.
Uh-oh.
Obviously, Ripple is part of a large crypto group that has been playing a really key part in elections. I mean, I think last year it was $200 million spent in races across the country. Currently has a war chest of, I think, $141 million the last time I saw. What is the strategy for the midterms? Fair shake.
Yes. So, well, Ripple has supported Fair Shake from the very beginning. And again, I would highlight the name. Like, the industry wants a fair shake. Like, this shouldn't be as polarizing, and I do think under the Gensler SEC, the industry was attacked. There wasn't any effort to provide clear rules of the road. And so what we have been asking for are those clear rules. I think Fairshake, they should speak on their behalf. I'm not on the board or an operator within Fairshake, but suffice it to say, they're continuing to execute the strategy that played out under the last election, which is we want to support pro-crypto candidates on the left and the right. Ironically, despite this topic being somewhat right-leaning, the last election, Fairshake supported more Dem candidates than they did our candidates. And I think that's actually a healthy thing because, again, this shouldn't have ever been, in my judgment, bipartisan. I think the Biden administration kind of made it partisan in a way that isn't good for the United States. If we want to be a leader in technologies that are redefining how infrastructure works around the globe, I agreed with Caitlin Long on the last panel. This is very global. The U.S. leaned into that in the late 90s with the internet. We've leaned out in blockchain. It doesn't make sense to me. But I think this administration obviously shifted that. Things like Fairshake are shifting that. And I think Fairshake was incredibly impactful.
Brian, I'm live. I'm live. This is live. Hello, guys.
Hope to see the Clarity Act get moved forward.
Absolutely. I guess I just do wonder, because it does seem like on Capitol Hill, obviously a lot of finger pointing, a number of folks are pointing the fingers at Democrats after this draft was leaked, saying this is a step too far. Are they really as pro-crypto as they seem? Does that mean that you're kind of maybe less inclined to support Dems, or does that mean even more support for Democratic candidates, especially those who have shown an interest in promoting crypto?
I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting in Washington on a stage in front of, I'm sure, reporters. I don't think about it as, are we supporting Dems or Republicans? I think about it as, we're supporting pro-crypto, pro-innovation candidates who want to see these technologies as they are around the globe. The United States is not leading in this. And there is an opportunity for the United States to lead. So I don't think about it as, should it lean more R or more D? I think about it as keep leaning into pro-crypto candidates and educate both existing sitting congressional leaders and a next generation of congressional leaders. Look, the reality is there is clearly a segmentation of age around all things crypto and blockchain. And there's no doubt in my mind that over an arc of time, the US will get this right. It's unfortunate that under the kind of Gensler regime, I think we slowed things down and it made it very difficult. We pushed things offshore where, ironically, it's less regulated and there's fewer consumer protections, which just makes no sense.
And of course, when it comes to sort of the meat of this law, what we're trying to get into is a large part of it is what is a security, what is a commodity. Of course, as you mentioned, you went through a $150 million lawsuit to get some of that clarity for Ripple. But I'm wondering, as you look at the market, are there things that should be a security? How do you sort of define what Ripple's product is and why it's not a security?
Can everyone take a second to hit the like button? This is Brad Garlinghouse speaking.
So I think, to some degree, the whole lawsuit for Ripple was about what is Ripple, which is a privately funded company that raised venture capital and issued stock associated with that. Those are securities. What is XRP, which is a technology, an open source technology that is kind of native to our products. We use XRP in our product stack, but there are scores of other companies building in and around the XRP ecosystem. People will say things like, well, XRP has a CEO, and I'm like, who is it? Ripple has a CEO, that's me. There's scores, if not 100 other CEOs building around the XRP ecosystem. And I think that's when I hear people say that, I think, okay, they're not educated about what's going on. And so we need to educate people. Obviously, you see that in a number of other tokens where there's a very distributed, very open source community. People don't understand. Ripple does not control XRP. It is open source. There have been amendments passed to the XRP open source technology that we opposed. We were against them and they still passed. That's okay, that's open source technology. There's other things we have championed that have passed, but it takes 80% of the community approving those amendments, which Ripple doesn't have control of that.
Mm-hmm. And so, if you were to define kind of what's a commodity versus a security, how would you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to dodge that question up here. Look, there is language that has been proposed. I happen to think that there's parts of the Clarity Act that passed the House that are quite constructive towards that clarity. I think some of the things that have been circulated, I'm like, okay, I don't actually get how that, well, look, for Ripple, the one thing we will be adamant and absolute about is whatever is, these draft comments that I see, it's like, well, we already won a court case by a federal judge, and if what you're writing gives the SEC an opportunity to bring another lawsuit against us, like, okay, wait, we can't support that. You can't take us back. And I think the industry needs what Ripple has already achieved. And what Ripple has done, and we've invested literally billions of dollars in the crypto industry broadly and tried to be a champion of the industry. We fought the SEC as a champion of the industry, and I think that we will continue to support it on a multi-chain basis. Those that I think approach it as there is somehow one token to rule them all, that's not going to be the future of crypto and blockchain. In the same way, there wasn't one browser or one search engine or
everyone
one
hit the like button. This is Brad Garlinghouse speaking. I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Subscribe if you haven't done so already.
One auction website now, though. But that aside,
well, I don't follow that category.
So mergers and acquisitions. I wanted to ask, because Ripple has a number of examples of companies that they have acquired in the stablecoin realm, in the sort of infrastructure realm. What is sort of the plan here? What's the thought process? What's the end goal?
Partly because of the shift, I think people still underestimate the U.S. as the largest economy in the world went from very strong headwinds to pretty strong tailwinds. Now, we're still figuring out as an industry, what do those tailwinds mean in the United States? And again, having the chief legal officer from Citibank, is an example of that shift. And I think he even talked about how it was very, very hard for them to engage this industry. This has been publicly reported, but I personally was debanked by Citibank during the last 4 years. And I think, happily we're past that stage. But I still think people underestimate the shift in those headwinds and tailwinds. And Ripple's thesis has been, okay, now is a time to really be aggressive about growth. And that is both organic growth and continuing to build. We're in the payments business, leveraging core technologies around blockchain and the XRP ledger around payments. We're in the custody business. We're in the stablecoin business. And then earlier this year, to your point around mergers and acquisitions, we spent $1.25 billion to buy Hidden Road, a prime broker, frankly, the largest non-bank prime broker out there. And we bought for $200 million, a stablecoin company called Rail, which was one of the leading stablecoin companies for the enterprise. So corporate treasury looking to use stablecoins to solve some of their internal movement of money, and that has been a great acquisition for us. So we're going to continue to play offense. I hope I have some more news on that very, very soon.
Very, very soon.
Now is the time to invest, and that partly because of that macro shift in government policy for the United States.
Interesting. And when it comes to government policy right now, I know we touched on this a little bit the last panel, that there seem to be certain agencies that are kind of giving the green light, full speed ahead, but there are groups like the Fed that are maybe a little bit more tentative. And I'm wondering kind of what your experience has been so far. Do you think that things are going to change when we finally get open a few more openings on the Fed? What are your expectations? Where are we at now? What are your expectations for the next few years?
So I have two thoughts about that. One, and as much as I have enjoyed some of the panels here today, one of the things I would ask everyone to do, both reporters and otherwise, is to hold traditional finance accountable for, yes, I agree, the crypto industry should be held to the same standard around AML, KYC, OFAC compliance. Yes, yes, yes. And we should have the same access to infrastructure like a Fed master account. You can't say one and then combat the other. Like that's disingenuous, and it's hypocritical, and I think we all should call them out for being anti-competitive in that regard. So that's kind of one thought of just, there should be a level playing field. Mm-hmm. And to the extent we're seeing people act in different ways. Now, the other part I would say, as much as a lot of the Fed managed by this administration, the federal government, not the Fed, as much as that shift has changed, I think some banks are still nervous until those changes are codified into law. Mm-hmm. The Genius Act obviously helped, and that unlocks, I think, I had meetings yesterday in New York City where banks that would not have talked to us 3 years ago are now leaning in and saying, how can we partner around this?
Around stablecoin.
Around stablecoins, for sure. And again, the delta there is the Genius Act has codified into law. We haven't seen that happen. I mean, again, Ripple has had, we fought the fight and we have clarity that XRP is not a security, but the industry doesn't have that, which I think creates challenges for some of the more conservative banking infrastructure, even though they're like, yeah, okay, we're interested, but are they really leaning in because they're worried that in 3 years from now there's another election, and is there a shift? I think that's a little bit too cautionary, because I think every day that goes by, even if without the Clarity Act in place, there's more and more firm policy positions that agencies are taking.
And so you think that even though there might be some sort of regulatory shift with the next administration, whoever they are, you're not going to go back to where we were at with Gary Gensler?
I definitely don't think that was. Frankly, I think that was a dark day for technology in the United States, and they were not acting with good intent. And I could spend a whole half an hour session just on that. And I mean, look, you had a federal judge. This is a quote. A federal judge said about the Gensler SEC, "They are not following a faithful allegiance to the law." Yeah, that's pretty damning for a federal judge who happened to be appointed by Obama. That they would come out and say that about a Biden SEC. I don't think we will go back to that. And frankly, I think the ship has sailed. I think that you can't put the genie back in the bottle in the United States. I don't think you really could, even though Biden may have tried with Gensler. But I think now that we are where we are, we are seeing many banks lean in. But for years, the U.S. was a frozen market.
Right.
I mean, one quick data point is 80% of Ripple's hiring between 2001 and 2004 was non-U.S. because that's where our customers were. Our customers around the world were leaning in. The customers in the U.S. were, we gotta be careful.
And speaking of banks, I mean, Ripple has applied for a national bank charter.
Yes.
Can you just sort of give a brief overview?
Oh, this is big.
Updates in that process? How are things going there?
Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't done so already.
I don't know the exact answer. I mean, look, I think it depends who you talk to. It's been a little disappointing to see some of the traditional banks start to lobby against things like that. It's like, look, if we want more stability, we want clear regulation, having a Fed master account actually is a net plus to that. You want to de-risk stablecoins, having Circle have a Fed master account, have Ripple have a Fed master account, that's actually a good thing. And held to the same regulatory standards as a bank. Great, we're in. We feel like we're already doing that. Ripple launched our stablecoin under a New York Trust license, which we feel like is the gold standard above what even others have done, because we are all about serving institutional money movement. And institutions aren't going to work with us unless we have really leaned into being compliance first.
And I know there have been some concerns raised from community banks who say, look, if you give, Ripple and others a bank charter or a master account, we're concerned that you're already going to see funding, trillions I think are projected to go from some of these smaller banks into crypto. There's a concern about a lack of capital. How do you respond to that?
There's nothing that stops community banks from leaning into these new technologies also. This is kind of the classic, people are afraid of innovation and the innovator's dilemma. And we shouldn't penalize customers, consumers, based upon it may be a particular community bank's unwillingness to lean into new technologies. That doesn't make sense to me. Like we should want community banks. If anything, it should be how do we provide clarity such that community banks can be served and leverage these technologies and compete with Citibank. That's a good thing. Right now, the community bank has to pay Citibank. I shouldn't pick on Citi. I like Brent a lot, actually, but. Let's say HSBC, they're not represented here. But the big correspondent banks are making money from the community banks by actually being their correspondent bank to settle cross-border transactions.
I'm wondering too, kind of dipping back into market structure here for a second. I mean, if the Senate doesn't get stuffed on market structure, you've said that you've already seen this increased interest in things like stablecoin in the markets. I mean, does that kind of put a freeze on things? If there's no regulatory clarity coming from Congress this year, no certainty, is that going to make it that much harder for a lot of the digital asset space to gain traction with companies, gain traction with banks?
So I think you asked the question in kind of a black versus white, and I think about it as gray. It depends upon the bank. It depends upon what people like Paul Atkins say publicly and put out as position papers on behalf of the SEC or CFTC. And I think it's kind of to be determined. But the more time that goes by, the better I think it is for the industry, period. Again, Ripple happens to be in a unique position and that we fought a multi-year battle to get that clarity for XRP. And so that the number of people building in and around the XRP ecosystem grew quickly after that resolution.
Vanessa, this is not a scam
okay,
live. We are live right now.
Clear. I think the whole industry needs that. The whole industry needs to be able to lean in and build, whether you're building payment solutions, custody solutions, land title registry solutions, tokenizing commercial real estate. Like this tsunami is still coming, and I don't think there's anything that the US federal government is going to do to stop that. Leaning in to provide clarity so that consumers are protected, companies know how to operate. The vast, vast, vast majority of entrepreneurs I know in crypto want to play by the rules. They're asking to understand what the rules are.
Sure, but is there, because I hear this on the Hill a lot too, that if they don't provide more of this framework, if they don't provide more, whoever named the clarity bill was really smart, because it just keeps coming up naturally. Whoever provides more clarity, then crypto will go overseas, kind of as you mentioned, that the US will miss the boat, and that, you know, even if we're still having things like, you know, Paul Atkins coming up with stuff, or the SEC regulating on things, or coming out with more clarity, that will not be enough.
Well, the one thing I want to say, your comment is that already has happened, right? Lots of entrepreneurs have decided, I'm not going to incorporate the United States because there's not clear rules. I mean, people can debate about MiCA, which is the Europe's kind of Clarity Act version, and it provides guidance. The FSA in the UK, like, there are clearer rules coming out of other jurisdictions. And so, yeah, if I was an entrepreneur starting today, I absolutely would look to that. Even the fact that you saw FTX as a non-US entity, like, bad things happened. Let's lean into having clarity for the United States. Let's not do what Gensler was doing of regulation through enforcement and bringing lawsuits and lawsuits and lawsuits. Why we wouldn't want this industry to have the benefit, meaning the regulatory clarity, the regulatory oversight, and the benefit of having a Fed master account, that's a good thing. Like, I don't know why we would fight that.
Well, I think that might be a great spot to leave it at. I see we're out of time. So Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, thank you so much for taking the time today. This was great.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
Let's pause that music. That was absolutely brilliant. What did you guys think of that? Brad Garlinghouse live on stage. I know everyone wants him to say something that makes XRP pump, but look, this is what's important. It takes time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. He was saying that there's not more mergers and acquisitions on the way. He said he's going to announce something very, very, very soon. He said very a few times. So next week we might be getting something from Brad Garlinghouse. I do want to bring you the Fed as well. The Fed has just released some data. So let me just bring you this. Just in the last half an hour, we got something from the Fed. Forgot what the data's called. It's something book that's just come out. So let me see if I can bring you this news from the Fed. Stay with me. I'll go through XRP's charts as well. If you have just tuned in as well, or if you have been watching and you are a real investor and you're a long-term investor and you want to know the news and you want to make money, but remember, if you make quick money, you lose it quite quickly as well. You need to understand the industry. You need to understand the news. You need to be on top of everything. You can't keep taking fake news from X. That's not your news source. That's why we put together our very own newsletter. Every single morning, you get the top stories of the day in your mailbox, or in your emails, or on the app, or on the internet. We put together the top stories at a glance. That's every single top story of the day is put on there. We talked about XRP in today's newsletter. We've talked about Trump's tariffs. We talked about regulations. We talked about Tesla. We give you the market snapshot. We tell you the 5 things you need to know every single day. We spend hours putting this newsletter in together for you every single morning. Then we've got the deep dive. Today was on XRP. Then we've got some videos within there as well. Interviews with Larry Fink about tokenization. We've got the timings of everything, so you can see every single day what is coming up as well. And you got the chart of the day, plus you get access to community, plus you get access to one-on-one with me. That's all part of the newsletter. Remember, every single day you get the newsletter in your inbox. Please do go consider signing up to it. I'm going to put the link. It's the first link in the description. It's also the link that I'm spamming right now in the chat. Click on it. It takes 1 second. If you click on that, I'll show you exactly what happens. If you click on that link there, it takes you to this page here. You can choose, do you want your 7-day free trial? Well, I would suggest you at least try the free trial. It's 30 cents a day. Give up a cup of coffee a week and you get the real news. Remember, once you start reading the news like an investor, you become a successful investor. If this was available to me when I first started investing, I would be in a much better position than I am now. I would pay a lot more for the news. But of course, we want to bring it to you at the best price. There is the annual plan. If you want to support us more, you can go founding that plan. If you want to try the monthly plan, you can go monthly. Or if you want to go for free, you can still get those top headlines. It's still worth signing up. So click on that link I've just put in the live chat. And when we go in, it's not free. When you go in, it's not free. What do you mean? There's a free plan, which is there's a free plan, which is just free forever. There is a free trial. This link gives you a free trial to the annual plan. There is a free plan and there is a free annual plan. So I'm not sure what you meant by that comment. I'm just going to go over to Bloomberg and see if I can rewind it a little bit because we got something from the Fed.
High-income households are increasingly making.
I think it was about 40 minutes ago. So let me see. Here we go.
U.S. economic activity,
There we
little
go.
change from the previous report. Charlie Pellet, take it away.
All right. Indeed, our Molly Smith's going to have a whole lot more on the Beige Book for you coming up in just a moment.
The Beige
equity
Book.
Markets here back in the green. It has been a choppy past hour. Last report told you the markets were lower. Right now, markets higher across the board. We have got the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ all in the green. S&P up 20.
We're waiting for the beige report that's coming out. Someone's just said the newsletter is dope. They love the illustrations, especially the great insights. Thank you so much. Yes, we put a lot of time and effort into the newsletter. I really do appreciate that comment. There is a link if anyone wants it. Let me go back to the Fed. This is just a bit behind, so we can forward this. Here we go.
Beige book coming out. I guess if we use the formal term, that's the summary of commentary.
This is the Beige Book. This is a very important piece of information that comes out the Fed, and I'm bringing you the news now.
On current economic conditions by Federal Reserve District, we're talking about each Federal Reserve Bank gathering anecdotal information on current economic conditions in each of those districts, reporting it up to the Fed, and giving us some flavor for how folks in those districts, we're talking about business owners, business leaders, are feeling about the economy at this moment and what they're seeing. This, of course, coming in advance of the next FOMC meeting at the end of this month, that
I'm
on
kind of
October the
excited.
28th, 29th. You're getting excited?
I always do.
Well, there's, a lot
Whatever
of
that
strange
means about
factors
me.
to this one.
Yeah.
We will get that CPI data. We can talk a little bit about that maybe as well with Michael McKee, Bloomberg TV and Radio's international economics and policy correspondent. He is in our Bloomberg News DC bureau, and here with us in New York, Bloomberg News economics editor Molly Smith. Mike, let me start with you. This is an impossible task to synthesize these many pages just a few minutes after it crossed the Bloomberg. But what are your takeaways? I think back on the last Beige Book that we got, and I think that the broad indication I remember is how there's flat to declining consumer spending because for many households they were worried about the path of the economy, worried about these tariffs.
This is a high impact story for the market.
Headline Carol just read a moment ago. Sounds like we're seeing more of the same here with this iteration.
Yeah, pretty much. You asked how consumers and companies are feeling. I think the word would be meh. Economic activity slowed, and we saw hiring basically flat, according to the Beige Book. Nobody's really going out and adding employees. There is some sign, according to the Beige Book, that companies are increasing the pace of layoffs, and some are adopting more technology, they say. I guess a word for AI. Prices rising a little bit because of tariffs, and there are concerns about spending, which is slowing. Consumers starting to pull back, with the exception of autos, which the Beige Book says was driven by people trying to buy electric vehicles before the end of the tax credit at the end of September. So right now, it looks like the economy is still moving ahead. But there's you get kind of a different picture, and I'll be interested in Molly's view on this, from this Beige Book and what it's saying, and the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now number for the third quarter, which is about 3.8%.
How do you know Trump is speaking
I think what stood out to me
HB4L? Let me
here,
know.
is just this continued observation of this bifurcated economy between high and low income consumers. And that's what the Beige Book noted here, is that higher income spenders were still going out buying luxury travel and accommodation, that those kinds of categories were still strong, but that lower and middle income households still seeking discounts and promotions in the face of rising costs. So this is like just a very much like something that we've been seeing for, it feels like, I mean, this is pretty much, to me, what has defied every recession call that we've had for like the last 2 years. It's that high income households are increasingly making up the share of overall consumer spending. Right now, it's, I think, just right about
We might have
50%.
Trump speaking
Yeah, it's a big
next.
deal.
If someone
You know,
can let
it's
me
funny 'cause I was
know
thinking about LVMH came
where
out,
you've
I
got
think,
that
with their results and their
information.
shares.
It looks like Trump is speaking in 10 minutes time. We will bring that live to you if that is the case. Thank you. Someone just said they subscribed to the newsletter for the free trial. I'll give you the link again if anyone else wants to join. That would be great. We're looking at the Fed report right now. They're digesting it and they'll report to us, and then we'll go over to Trump.
Supposed to be.
But in the absence of that,
Yeah.
I compiled for you all of the other private sector
Which we say
inflation
thank
pages
you.
out there. You're so welcome. There aren't that many, though, honestly, which is something that Powell had observed yesterday when he was speaking at the NABE conference, that unlike the job market, we have so many private sector alternatives there to go to see what's going on with labor demand, with hiring, with wage growth. Inflation, not so much. So there are a couple of companies that compile price growth throughout the U.S., but it really is biased toward the goods space. They don't do as good of a job looking at services inflation. There are a couple of companies that specialize in housing inflation in particular.
Thanks, guys.
but they
We'll
don't
cover
really
it.
Get the overall view. So if we're really looking at just what goods inflation seemed to do in September, you definitely did see some signs of tariff pass through in certain categories. But in general, a lot of these economists are saying that the expectation is still that inflation will eventually level off.
Like, I'm going to guess that these policymakers are going to take Molly's data and couple it with what we get from the Labor Department, the CPI data that's been delayed. Just help us understand the mechanics of that and how the Fed is kind of finding its way through this very strange
Fed
moment with the shutdown
beige
extending
book
into-
we're looking at
to
right
3
now.
weeks
I hope I said that right.
And I'm curious how much of a hindrance that is for them as they plot a path forward here, if any of that kind of resonated in what you heard from Chair Powell yesterday.
Well, I think there are 19 members of the Open Market Committee, and I think we had 19 downloads of Molly's story today about alternative
At
data.
least,
I
I should
hope
say.
more than that.
Ouch.
That's what they're using.
Julie,
One
all
of
of a
them.
sudden.
They're looking at alternative data to the extent that they can, and remember, they are also in constant contact with companies and with small businesses and consumers to an extent in their districts, the 12 regional bank presidents. So they're getting a picture of what people are saying is happening immediately rather than looking at the past data. And they're going to be making their decision based on what their estimate of what is, what is going to happen going forward, rather than what has already happened. They will have a pretty complete CPI report because the data was all gathered before the government went out. But the concern is whether they will have any October data, because we're getting deep into the month and they'll be able to collect less.
We're digesting the Fed beige report. CPI is going to come out next week. That'll be a big event. Make sure you're subscribed for
what I
that.
think is going to happen. And in that case, what you get is different districts see different developments in markets, and this has just been a story throughout the Federal Reserve's time in being, because the country is one big country.
Someone's being very strange in the chat. This person said, I'm unsubscribing from this channel because you don't answer questions. Well, first of all, we're in the middle of a live event right now with live data coming out. I've managed to pause it because they're not talking about it right now. But secondly, you're not even a member. We answer all members' questions. We physically can't answer all subscribers' questions. We'd love to answer all your questions. And then you've gone on to say, how will XRP get to $1,000 a coin? To me, it sounds you're not an informed investor. XRP to $1,000 is something that you shouldn't even be thinking about right now. It is a number that's been plucked out the sky with no reason to, apart from getting clicks and views. I'm not even thinking about $1,000 per coin for XRP right now. To me, it's impossible. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But right now, to me, I'm not even thinking about it. That's an impossible thing that you've just put out there, Andre. So please be patient. If you want your questions answered, you can become a member. Here is the link for anyone to become a member. If we do get 10 people become Electrum members, we'll do a special Electrum show. Electrum is our newest membership. You get the quiz nights. You get all your questions answered. You get all your questions answered, and you also have that special events. We might even go straight to an Electrum member if we've got 10 Electrum members, and I'll do all your chart requests for Electrum members. But for now, we are just listening to Bloomberg, and then we're going over to Donald Trump's speech. I will try and answer your questions as well. Can someone please ask when Trump will speak? Trump will speak in 6 minutes time. I can answer that question. I think we're going to get rug pulled by Ripple. I don't think we will. Okay, Trump is already speaking. I don't think he is. I'll check, but I don't think he is.
What are we seeing in the data when it comes to the effects that policy is having on the labor market in the U.S.?
I think this is such a big debate right
now. Trump is not live yet.
What kind of shape the labor market is in, because in the one hand, you're looking at weaker hiring numbers, that you're thinking that the job market has significantly slowed, and it's true, the pace of hiring has come down substantially, but labor supply has come down substantially as well. So do you need as strong of job growth if the working population is that much smaller? I think that's really the key debate right now. And there was a blog post from a Dallas Fed economist recently that argued, no, you don't need that strong job growth because the labor force is that much smaller. So it's really still key to make that distinction of, is the labor market really weakening or is it rebalancing?
It's just a reminder of kind of all of the tensions that are coming out at us that maybe are changing the read on statistics. Mike, I want to bring you in because on that note, still coming at investors, still coming at economists, still coming at business leaders, the trade tensions between US and China. So we've got kind of that going on and trying to figure out the impact on that still yet to be determined. At the same time, we got a read on the big banks this week, which is another read on the US economy and how things are going. How do you fold all of that in?
Well, if you're at the Fed, you hive off what's happening with the banks and earnings and Wall Street because it's a kind of a different world. To a certain extent, it can represent what's going on in the economy if you're talking about things like mortgages and car loans, of which they are not making a whole lot. The merger and acquisition business is doing very well, and the stock trading and bond trading and currency trading businesses are doing very well, we learned this week. But that's not the real economy, and that's not what's happening to the people on the ground across America. And so they're not really looking at those things. They are looking at whether or not people's wages are going up and whether they're keeping pace with inflation and what we think the inflation rate is, and also what consumer sentiment is, whether people think they want to buy something now or whether they're pulling back because they're concerned about the
If you haven't subscribed yet, let's see if we can get to 105,000 tonight. Takes 1 second, it's free.
The conference I was just at, the Business Economist Conference, they were making the point that even though we automate more stuff, or we may not need as many workers, certain industries, particularly agriculture and construction, need a lot of trained workers, or less trained for agriculture than for construction. And many of those were filled by immigrants. And the euphemistically worded change in immigration policies, as the Beige Book put it, is causing a real problem. There was one survey one company put out at this meeting that said there's going to be 500,000.
Okay, I apologize. I'll bring my volume down slightly.
Next year.
Yeah.
And that's going to really slow down the housing industry, which of course is a big contributor to the economy.
As long as there's demand to build.
Well, I would say, I mean, look,
Let's just do the whiteboard here, kids.
Of all times to pull back on construction workers, this would be, I would say, a pretty good time to do it because builders are slowing the pace of construction anyway. Yeah. There's so many new homes available on the market that have been.
Okay, they haven't talked too much about that new report that came out. The market hasn't reacted in a big way. We're waiting for Donald Trump. That's going to be the next thing that's going to move the market. But what I'm actually going to do now is, while we're waiting for Trump to come live, he might be a couple minutes late. What we're going to do is I'm going to answer all questions. So anyone who's a member, I will answer your questions. Anyone who becomes an Electrum member, I'll do a free chart analysis. And if we get 10 Electrum members, remember, Electrum's our newest membership. with you get all the perks of bronze, silver, plus all the new perks of Electrum. We do a quiz night every Sunday. You can ask me questions one-on-one. You can do chart requests. You win prizes. You win and you learn a lot during those Sunday events. If you get 10 of them, then we'll do an Electrum special event straight after Trump. But I'm going to go into members only mode for just so I can answer everyone's questions. So let me go into my stream settings. I'm going to change it. If you want to become a member and ask me a question, I'm going to go through everyone's questions. Here is the membership link. There we go. I'm going to go into here. I'm going members mode. We might do this for 10 minutes. We might do it longer. But if you want to ask a question, here it is. We're now in members only mode. So let's start answering questions. Let's go a little bit before until all the members catch up and start asking questions. So I only buy XRP because it's cheap and have a lot of coins in the market. That doesn't make any sense. The price of XRP is cheap, but it doesn't mean that it's the third, fourth largest market cap token in the world. So just because the price is cheap doesn't mean it's cheap. It's much more expensive than 99% of the coins out there if you're talking market cap. So just because the value's low, that means nothing. It's because there's a lot in circulation. So that's not a reason I'll buy XRP, but I do like XRP, but that's not a reason I buy it. Although in some cases, it's good for sentiment reasons. If a lot of people think it's cheap, like the retail and like yourself, unfortunately, if you think it's cheap, you're more likely to buy it, and that pushes the price up as well. And that normally happens in a FOMO season as well. Do we have? No, we don't have Trump speaking just yet. Mr. Trap, what's the market cap of $10 XRP? It'll be $1 trillion. A $10 XRP. So XRP will start to go up now a little. It's overbought on the daily. It's overbought on the daily. Thank you for that. George says, thank you. George Leon says, do you think XRP will be useless if Ripple is denied a banking charter? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I don't think so. But I also think they'll get their banking charter. Let me put this timer on again because we don't have Trump speaking yet. If anyone wants to become a member, here is the membership link. If you're on an iPhone, it might not work. You have to go onto a browser and then a desktop version, and then it will work. All members can start asking questions now. Human Being says, thank you, no worries. Renan said, lol. Brian says, do you think crypto will crash like Martyn thinks it will soon? I'm in two minds. I'm in one mind of a 50. I think there's a 50-50 at this point. I used to think it was a 60-40 in terms of bull run. I'm in a 50-50 now. That the bull market continues or doesn't continue. But because that 50% is the market will pump a lot and we get that euphoric cycle, that's why I'm still in. I do think there will be a correction, and I'm prepared for that, but I do think we will go up before we go down, or we'll go into a little bear market, a quite significant crash, and then we'll shoot up. So it's worth still being in and potentially having money on the side to buy in at the bottom. But remember, if you're prepared for the upside, prepared for the sideways action, prepared for the downside, you're going to be fine. But remember, at the end of a bubble, in my opinion, there's always that euphoric run. The question is, have we already had the euphoria? Well, the Russell 2000 hasn't broken out of all-time highs, so I don't think so, or we just hit all-time highs. So I think we'll get one more euphoric run at the end of a bubble, and then it comes crashing down. That would be more something I'd be expecting. However, we can't always predict exactly what's going to happen. Dale says, Dairy Milk or Galaxy? I don't actually like either, I don't think. What would I prefer, Dairy Milk? Probably Galaxy, but thank you, Dale, for that question. I stopped buying XRP, says Jerry. Yeah, I've stopped buying XRP after. No, I did buy it the other day on the crash, but apart from that, I haven't bought XRP in a while because we never went down that low for a while. I was under £1. Yep, we will be buying XRP for 30 cents on this channel. Adjust the chat comments from covering your face. It's just a recommendation. Adjust the chat comments from covering your face. What do you mean? What chat comments are covering my face? My face is here. The chat is over here. How's it covering my face? I don't understand what you mean. Alpha, I don't understand. George says, with the Binance scandal, God, Binance is awful, isn't it? Do you suggest, we've just got a super chat, I'll address that in a second. With the Binance scandal, do you suggest using a cold wallet, or should we only use exchanges that are American companies? Cold wallet's normally the best option, but look, the exchanges I like and trust, but it can never be 100%. It's Coinbase, KuCoin, Kraken. Those are enough. I mean, if I had to choose one, and I don't mind paying a bit extra fees for the safety, I'd probably go Coinbase. I've never trusted Binance. I don't like Binance. They were very, very, at the end of 2021 when so many things happened wrong with Binance, and you saw what Binance did to XRP on Friday as well. Matty says, I don't think we'll get the euphoric rise this time. We might not. Jason says, Sensei Brad G just noted that XRP is open source and not directly controlled by Ripple. Does that also apply to the ledger? Yeah, this XRP, Ripple's technology, XRP's technology, XRP's ledger is all open source. This is controlled not just by Ripple, but nodes all around the world, and 80% of people have to agree on any changes to that. So that's the beauty, or that's why it's good. There is no one person that can mess it all up. That's why centralized tokens issued by someone like Bank of America, they won't hold up. No one will want to use that system. And does this also apply to Ledger? Yep. Someone's giving away memberships. Make sure you have hit the like button and subscribed. We're waiting for Donald Trump to go live. Josh Monroe, thank you so much. You always support the channel. It's amazing. $5 super chat. That keeps us live and keeps it going. Thank you, Josh Monroe. Thank you. Media, digitization solutions, don't use cold wallets. If you don't know what you're doing, then just keep it on an exchange, but know the risks of both. Mark sent one Martyn Lucas investor gift membership. If anyone else wants to gift a membership, if you go down here, you can say gift memberships. If you go on the super chat button, you can do super chat, you can become a member, or you can gift a membership. On a television, the chat goes over your face. Oh, Jerry. Yes, good point. I don't know what to do about that. I think my face is less important than the charts and what we show, so it's probably the best place it can be. But thank you for letting me know. Brian said, CVI Global received a membership from Mark. Please do make sure you say thank you to Mark. Brian says, what do you think XRP will crash down to, or stay down below, or go back up? Oh, we got someone else gifting one we got C Marty gifting away one membership. If everyone just gives away one membership, we could get everyone into the membership chat. Shall we try and do that? If everyone could just try and give away one membership, let's see if we can all give a gift to someone else. So what we're going to try and do is get everyone to see if we can gift one membership. That way you're giving someone else a present, and hopefully that'll brighten up their day, and hopefully the karma comes back to you. Let's see if, I'm going to put the timer on again because Trump's supposed to be speaking, but it's not. If everyone goes onto the super chat button, the button down on the bottom right, you can gift the membership. If everyone gives away one membership, you're giving a gift away. That's a better way of doing it. Brian says, what do you think XRP will crash down to, and will it stay down or go back up? If in a bear market, it depends where we peak. If we've already peaked, then we expect 80% drop. I would expect to go between 50 cents and $1 if the bear market's already in, and then we can recover from there. If we go to $10, then I expect that to come down to $2.50, $3, and then run up from there. Josh Monroe has gifted 5 memberships. Wow, let's see if we can keep this running. Let's see if we can get everyone into the members only chat. That would be a great gift for everyone. Thank you, Josh Monroe. Look at that. I play the volatility of oil, scalp trade oil from 50 cents to $5 in and out quickly 3 times a month. Yes. Currently in MTDR. Yes, we are looking at a bounce for MTDR. Someone requested it today. We had a look. Oh, someone else requests. Oh, Human Beings has done 1. Let's do it. Congratulations. Thank you, Human Beings. You've gifted away 1. If all people that are subscribers, not in the members only chat, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribed so that you might win one of these memberships that the members are giving away right now. How amazing is this? The members are giving away memberships. This is incredible. This is such a great community we have here. When watching You're My TV, your entire pictures covered by the chat. I apologize, but it's better that I'm covered by the chat than what we are. Normally we have a chart or we have something playing. My XRP is in institutional custody with Anchorage Digital Bank, so I won't be selling and will have soon yield provided for months. Oh, I've never heard of that place. I hope it's safe. Did someone else just do it? See, Marty, look at this. See, Marty has just sent 5 Martyn Lucas Investor Gift Memberships. This is very kind of the members. Guys, if you are winning these memberships, come in and thank the members. They're giving away, they're putting their hard-earned cash and they're choosing to gift you a membership. This is incredible. Where were we? The speech has started. Nope, I'm waiting. I'm on Fox News. There's no speech here. Fox News has not gone live with the speech as of yet. Let's see if Forbes is bringing it. No, it's not started. Even Forbes. Yeah, no, we're not missing anything. Don't worry. Going through the members' questions. No, that's HB. No, it hasn't. Josh Monroe, thank you so much for giving away 5 memberships. Tony received a membership. John received a William. If you have just received one, please do say thank you in the chat. Human Beings has given away 1 membership. Thank you very much, Human Being. Who else? Jason, Comic Cost Cook, a member for 1 year, has decided to gift 5 Martyn Lucas gift memberships. Thank you so much. That's 5 people that are now members of the channel. Who's going to win them? Let's say Josh Monroe says, figured out I'll take a page out of Miss Buckley's book. CXSX has won, Louis has won, Oliver has won, ADC has won, Lani has won. C. Marty, thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well. Mackie has won 1, Quark has won, T has won 1. Who else has won? Krish has won, Yarnold has won. T. Jane says, no way. Yes, you've won a membership. Congratulations and welcome. Welcome, T. Wayne. Yes, thanks. Thank you, Matthew, for joining. What are your thoughts that Russia and China are the real Satoshi? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think, my personal opinion is they're not, but again, I have no reason to think that or not think that. I don't know. I personally don't think so. Human Being says, YW Matt, thank you, C. Marty. Yes. If you do want to become a member as well, you can do it yourself. And here is the membership link as well. If you have just become a member, you might as well upgrade it to Electrum. It's for the price of bronze. You're getting a much better membership because that someone's gifted you a membership. So, oh, Kimberly has sent 1 Martyn Lucas Investor gift membership. Congratulations. Remember, bronze members. We've got members only streams. We sing you, or Martyn sings you happy birthday. We've got members only chat. You get priority on everything. So the Meet the CEO events are all members only to begin with. So bronze, so all these members that have come in, you get lots and lots of perks benefits. You can go on the page and see all the list, but there is tons of benefits. We always do everything for our members. So welcome to the Martyn Lucas family. We're waiting for Trump speaking. I'm going to have to redo the timer because he's not gone live yet. All members can ask questions right now. You're very welcome. Welcome to the community. It's not true. Satoshi is a Japanese name, and I'm sure they're British, so American. It's a group, not an individual. I think it might be a group as well. Yeah. You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. YW equals you're welcome. Thank you. I'm not in with all the slang. There we go. Human Being, thank you very much. T-Lane says, C. Marty. Okay, T-Lane, congratulations and welcome to the channel. This is the Martyn Lucas Investor Show. My name is Senta. I broadcast on Martyn Lucas. We cover all stocks, crypto, events. We do it as a family. We learn from each other. This is a sort of a no judge zone. Everyone can ask any question they want, and we learn off each other. And we're live all the time to build that community. We're not like other channels which has sign up to Femex, KuCoin, lose all your money, leverage trading. We don't like to make money like that. We like to make money by investing in the stock market and building a community. So becoming a member is sort of joining the community, you can say, because you get access to everything. So here we go. Let's go over to Trump because he should be speaking any second now. We are waiting for a press conference. Not started yet. We're waiting for that to occur. Let's go back to Bloomberg for a second and see what's going on.
Searched for in the past, and hey, this could be a nice complementary product for your recent purchase. And now you'll basically have the ability to put all of that product from Walmart into that summary, and you have a quick, easy buy, instant checkout button. And then this could unlock a lot of e-commerce growth still, even on top of that $100 billion. So there's no great way to size this. And what I've been telling investors when I get asked to size this is, Walmart's grown the U.S. e-commerce business about 15% year over year for each of the last 12 quarters. There was a time when Amazon did that north of 20% for years. Maybe we just have this double-digit 20% growth in perpetuity for Walmart, and that could be a big lever for them.
Carol, noting that you raised the specter of Walmart joining this $1 trillion market cap club, so your price target 115, as Carol said, the bull case is 135, I think.
Correct, yeah.
How would they get there? So this is like rare air or rare company in the sense that when I think of those $1 trillion plus companies, most of them are tech companies. They're not.
Just go pause that here, go back to comments. Remember, members can ask questions right now. I'm going to go back over to general subscribers as we get ready for Trump to take the stage. But remember, members always get priority. So let me just go back over to members only. We're waiting for Trump to take the stage. That should have been 13 minutes ago, but of course he's running late. So we can't blame him. He's the president of the United States. I'm sure he's very, very busy. But we'll wait for him to come. It should be any second now. To be fair, this channel, Sensei, always keeping the news up to date with crypto and whatnot. Good source to rely on. Thank you, C. Martyn. We put in so much research, 4 hours a day with the newsletter, and then bring that information to you, and then try and be live for all the events, all the crypto events, all the stock events, all the Fed events. We try and bring you everything. We try to be that one-stop shop. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Did someone just give away 10 memberships? Make sure you're hitting the like. Robert Thurp has given away 10 Martyn Lucas gift memberships. Look at this. This is incredible. Robert Thurp, I'm sure you've made so many people's days today. Thank you. You've been a member for 2 months and you're sharing the love and giving 10 Martyn Lucas memberships away. Guys, this isn't cheap. He's giving you a very big gift. Anyone who's received one from Robert, please say thank you. That's Dan, Ali B, Min, Dan, Francesco, Richard, Vibe, Knocking, Colby. You've all received a free membership. Congratulations. Oh, Heather, you've become a member yourself. Congratulations as well. Thank you for joining the family. So many perks and benefits. We're waiting for Trump to take the stage. Let me just read some comments. General subscribers, if you want to do a comment now, I'll see if I can reply to you as well. Rob with the big 10. Yes, thank you. That's a big one. Our all-time highest super chat ever for the last on this show. Since we rebranded, let me show you. I've got it saved and it comes up. I normally keep it on the screen. Where has it gone? I've lost a lot of my overlays since this update. Let me just see if I've found. No, it was Josh Monroe for $150. That was incredible. I think 10 memberships is pretty expensive as well if you get 10 of them. So thank you so much. That is also obviously supporting the channel as well, and you're giving to someone else. I don't know where all my overlays have gone. It's a bit weird. Yeah, I can't share that right now. We're waiting for Trump to go live. Is he live yet? Nope, he's late. No, we're waiting. Donald Trump, FBI. Yeah, not started yet. Let me read some more comments. Why is this not playing? Here we go. Thank you, Heather, for becoming a member. Trump is always late. Yes, I can say hi and blessings to Sensei. Thank you, God's Truth. Welcome to the show. 400 per tariff on China's good. Is that true? No, it's 100% tariffs on China. Best channel ever. Thank you so much, Sammy. Why are you not a member then? If this is the best channel ever, why are you not a member? It's $3 a month as well. Thank you for saying it's the best channel ever, though. Really appreciate it. We do everything for the viewers and members. Hit the like button, says human being. Yes, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. I've literally been live since this morning. I've done the newsletter, woken up, done 4 hours of the newsletter, done 4 hours of live. I took a small break. Then I saw Waller was speaking. Then I took a break. Then I didn't take a break. Then we went straight over to Brad Garlinghouse. Then we did your comments and questions. Then we covered the Fed, whatever it's called, the Fed beige report. Now we're covering Trump speak. This is incredible. Here we go. Hit the like button. Cheers. How kind. This channel is a great return on investment. Thank you, Songs for Space. I'm glad you're learning. And it's a good return on investment. Congrats. Why is Swift integrating Chainlink? I don't think they are. Renan says, welcome, Heather. Sue says, thank you. Cyber Engine, Sensei's newsletter arrives in my inbox every morning at 4:30 a.m. on the dot. Beautiful way to start my day. Cyber Angel. Thank you so much. It's not always on the dot though. You don't have to lie. It's sometimes 10 minutes, 20 minutes out of sync, depending on when I finish it up. But yeah, it's normally there on the around that. I don't know. You must be in Pacific time, I think. But I'm glad. Yeah, it's there for before the bell every single day, a few hours before the bell, and you get all the top stories. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Cyber Angel. I didn't even know you were a subscriber to the newsletter. If no one's got the newsletter yet, here is the link. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Congrats. Having a great day ahead. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. Wow. Game changer, says Curious Luna. Trump is always late. He's a busy guy. I'm sure he is. I hope Trump pump and no dump. Yes, let's hope he doesn't say anything about tariffs this time round. And let's hope for a little taco trade. Let's bring back the taco trades, the pumps and dumps. Where were we? Game changer. Trump is always late. I hope. Quick question on the XRP chart sensor. When's the next support and resistance levels? Good question, because we haven't really been here for a while at these prices. Let me go over to remember we're waiting for Trump to speak. Nothing as of yet. We haven't been this low for a while, so I'll give you the next support and resistance lines on XRP. You'll remember. So very strange position we're in now, because we obviously had that big crash, but that doesn't really mean much because it was a liquidation. There's a lot of manipulation under that. There was lots of inside trading, in my opinion, for that. So we have to ignore that massive wick towards the downside. Not ignore it in the future, but ignore it for now, because we're not going to trade there anytime soon unless we continue to go. Okay, so yeah, very simple. So the support is at $2.30. $2.30 is the level of support. The resistance is 262. Remember, we used to harp on about 262 a lot. Now we are actually below it. We weren't really expecting that. But obviously now we are, with that liquidation event and the exchanges manipulating the market. So resistance is at 262. We want to get back above that to start being confident in the bull run continuing, and we really do not want to break $2.30. Otherwise, again, then it's $2, and then it's okay. Are we going into a bear market? So yeah, $2.30 and $2.62. Those are the two main support and resistance levels. The only two I really care about at this point is $2.60. We could say $2.62 and $2.30. The main 2 points for me are 230 and 262. Hope that answers your question. Keep an eye on Trump. He's not coming live yet. Some very kind people here. Yes, we've got a great family here. The members are amazing. Seng says, I'm sure you're a very lovely person, Nada, as well. So why don't you become a member? Also, anyone who just became and just won a membership, remember, you do have to renew your memberships. It is gifted to you for a month, but do make sure you renew it. But the best way to do it is, obviously, this is the link where you can you still got this month for free. I'd suggest upgrading to Electrum, our newest membership, and that way you've basically got Electrum for the price of bronze. You can always downgrade after, but do check out the Electrum membership. Trump Live, what would the news be about? It was with FBI Director Kash Patel, so it'll be interesting. He'll take press conference as well and answer questions about tariffs. What did I miss? You missed, if you go back to the beginning, you'll see Brad Garlinghouse speaking, but now Trump speaking. Songs for Space. I heard it was 500% on Russia and 500% on China if they continue to buy Russia. Wow, no, I haven't heard that. Can I get a refund? Just got a gift sub. You haven't got a gift sub, and no, you can't get a refund. You can't just take someone else's money and because you got a membership. That makes, what is going on? You're a tramp, Sensei. Thank you so much. God bless you. God's truth. Nada says you look like you need some sleep. Yes, I do need some sleep. I need to spend some time with my wife as well. She's probably like, what's going on? Someone just became a yearly member of the newsletter. That must have been the person who said they've just joined the free trial. Thank you very much. You're gonna love it, by the way. You're gonna love the annual subscription, the newsletter. It's the best way, the cheapest way to get it. There is the newsletter link. What did Brad have to say? You have to go back and watch it. Very British stuff. Always sound advice and real. Yep, never financial advice though. Peyton says, you guys rock. Banking license for Ripple would be huge. Yes. Why this channel always skip hard questions? What do you mean? I've literally not skipped a single question. I'm going to have to put the timer on for Trump again because he's just failing to go live. We're checking all our sources. Trump is not live yet. Everyone's waiting for Trump. No, I don't skip any hard questions. I never skip a question unless it's racist or offensive. I don't skip a question. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where were we? Sound. Why is this? We never skip. Whoop. Mentorship love. I know he just got married, so Lord forgive me, but I have the biggest crush on Brad G. That's fine, Sally. Don't worry, we're not going to tell him. Really, wife does really good photos in the newsletter. Thank you, Sammy. I'll let her know. Did Brad say XRP holders are going to be? No, he didn't say that. I will soon. So no, I will soon. No worries. Any guess when Flare will update their F assets mining cap for an additional 20 million? No, I don't, but I'm sure it will be soon. Trump dump or pump? That's the question, isn't it? I don't know. We'll find out. My brother in crypto became a bronze member. Oh wow. Um, Oh, become a bronze member. I thought your brother Jason became a bronze member and he's a crypto investor. Andrew says Brad Garlinghouse speak and XRP dance. Brad spoke so many times and didn't say, look, don't get frustrated. I mean, it's not the point. Brad's running a separate company called Ripple. He's not the CEO of XRP. He needs to carry on what he's doing, continuing to adopt XRP, continuing to use XRP's technology, and in time, the price will catch up. It's not just even if he said something and XRP pumps, it's going to dump the next day. It's not worth XRP pumping on just what Brad says one day. It's about, is it going to stay? Is the mechanics behind it actually going to support that price value? If it's just something someone says, it might pump for one day, but it'll probably dump the next day. We've seen that over and time again when it comes to the SEC. The best news in the world pumped 100%. The next day it dumped, and the next until we start getting the utility, and that's what Brad's working on. The announcements are good, not because I'm waiting for him to say something about XRP, but because I'm waiting and trying to keep updated about how he's using XRP's technology and if the utility is continuing. If we go down, I'll keep buying regardless. I only became a member in quality channels. Well, that's a bit rude, isn't it? What do you mean? You only become members in quality channels. It's not a quality channel. It's not very nice, is it? David Hensley says, either way, we're glad you're here. XRP dump like the Israel peace deal. Nada says, oh, no, we hope that. We really hope that ceasefire stays in place. Nada says, all my money is in crypto. I literally haven't got enough in my account to be a member, but I will when I get paid later this week. I wouldn't have all my money in crypto. I mean, again, I'm a very ultra high risk investor, but still, it's very risky having all your money in crypto. Electrum. Oh, the Key has been a member for 7 months. He's an Electrum member for 7 months. Sensei puts a great quiz together for Electrum members, so worth giving it a try. Thank you, the Key. You did great in this week's quiz. If you haven't become an Electrum member and experienced the quiz, I'll give you a sneak peek now, actually, on what Electrum is all about, or one of the many perks you get for being an Electrum member. You get all the bronze and silver perks, plus the new Electrum perks. Let me just give you the link. This is our Sunday event from this Sunday. Let me play this. In the world, XRP on the Binance exchange. If you were leverage trading there and you were 3x on your leverage in one day, so we went through the charts, we did the quiz, we answered questions, we did a lot of education. Let me just show you one of the questions. Oh, here we go. This is a funny one. What's considered a safe leverage range for beginners? 7, 6, 5, 4. Ooh, nothing is safe. No leverage is truly safe. Remember, we just looked at one of the largest cryptocurrency assets in the world. You would be liquidated in a day. Remember, 3x trade. Can anyone tell me in the chat how much the percentage will have to go down for you to be liquidated? Anyone in the chat right now, tell me what percentage does it have to go down for you to be liquidated on a 3x trade? What percentage does the asset have to go down? Can announcing sanctions? Was it Trump imposing 100% tariffs? Was it the China? What triggered the crash? Everyone. So we do that at the beginning part. We have the quiz. The winner gets. We go on the podium. Electrum podium week 2, number 3, Rene Zanin. Rene is on the podium. Number 2 is loaded, which means number 1. Is it Christopher? Or did he get it wrong? It is Christopher Pennington. He is number one. Oh my God, look at runners up. There we go. So we do that for first part. The winner gets an item of merch. Then we do the runners up gets free chart requests. Then we go through everyone's questions. It's a small group, so we can answer everyone's questions, and we have some good fun within that. Yeah, we spent hours going through charts after, so do consider becoming an Electrum event. That's a sneak peek into Sunday's members only event. We're waiting for Trump to go live. Anything yet? I keep refreshing this. No, it's about half an hour late now. We're going to keep our eyes on it. Are we going to get to 104,900? Can we get another 34 subscribers? That would be great. Let me go back to your comments. I have an order set. Where were we? I have an order set. Yeah, limit orders would have been great on Friday. I'm even annoyed at myself. I always say have limit orders for crazy liquidation events, and we got a crazy liquidation event that I always said would happen. But I personally didn't have a limit order set. Thankfully, I was around and I put on a leverage long for XRP around $1.60. I sold it at $2.20. Anyway, or $2.30, something like that. It was on Sunday before I went live. I don't know what the price was. But yeah, if I had limit order set, there was so many cryptocurrencies that were down 80%. I would have loved to pick them up. So yeah, limit orders are always a good idea. Andrew Michael says, thank you. Hi, yes, what did Brad say? You can go back and watch. This China thing is going to affect our monies, peeps. It's going to get worse. Yeah, it might do. And we are expecting about a 50%, 20 to 40% crash within the next 6 months. Well, that's what I'm expecting. Martyn's expecting a little bit earlier. I'm saying it could be in 2026, but we'll have to see. Maybe it comes sooner. Either way, the market is overbought at this point. We've given you all the reasons why. The China thing is going to affect our money. Yeah, you know, Trump is fashionably late. It's a bit more than fashionably late at this point. It's annoyingly late because I want to go to bed. No, I'm joking. Not bed. I need to go and have some lunch, etc. You know, Trump is fashion. Saying wife is fun, sensei. You're still in the honeymoon period. We've been together for about 6 years. Brian says, "What does it say? I've been a member for 2 months. When?" Because I think it doesn't say, I think it stops at 2 months, and then when you become a member for 6 months, then you get your next badge. It's not a badge every month. I think it's a 1 month. You get the new badge, then you get the 1 month badge, 2 month badge, then you wait for your 6 month badge, then your 1 year badge, 2 year badge, 3 year badge. So once you get to 6 months, you'll get your upgraded badge. Brian, you've only been a member for 4 months. It feels like you've been a member a lot. You must have been a subscriber before. Has there been any news regarding US government shutdown? Thank you so much, C. Marty, for the £2 super chat. There hasn't. They voted on it again. It didn't pass. The government's still going to pay the army through different funds. We're going to get CPI next week. We weren't expecting it, but we're now looking to get it even with the government shutdown. What else is there on? The next sort of choke point would be the 31st of October. That's when it really needs to get sorted out because that's the next pay package. So we've got some time before it gets really bad. But if we start coming up to the 31st of October and the government shutdown is continuing, then that's when the markets won't like it. Did Martyn leave you with the keys to his Wackatrol machine? I'd love to have those keys. I'll speak to Martyn, ask him where they are. Anthony says, thanks, David. Thanks. Oh, Nada become a member. Is that Nada? You sound like a really nice person, I think, earlier. Yeah, Nada's just become a member. Welcome to the Lucozade family. Can all the Lucozades please welcome Nada to the Lucozade family? She's become, or he, sorry, probably a he. Is it a he or a she? I think it's a he. He's just become a member. Nada, let me know. Are you a he, she? And let me know where you're from. If all members can welcome them in. I'm excited for the journey. I've learned more than just following hype influencers. This channel is sound. Thank you, Anthony. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be real. We don't give. I'm going to need to put this timer back on Trump. I'm sorry, guys. It was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. Sorry, it was supposed to start half an hour ago, and now it still hasn't started. Trump won't say much that will help or dump them. Yeah, if we don't get him speaking, we're probably going to end the stream because it's probably going to just be, I don't know, We'll see. Let's go through the comments, and if he's still not live, then I might end the stream. Is it really true? It's really true. True Facts channel. Martyn has built a very competent team. Thank you, David Hensley. Nado is here. How to get a free membership? Normally, you just have to make sure you hit the like button, you're engaging in the chat, you're subscribed, and then if someone does kindly give away memberships, then you're more likely to receive them. There's no official way. Josh Moreau says 0.25%. I'm not sure that's what's referring to. 30%. Oh, you're answering the question. Yeah. 3x leverage, 33%. Yeah, essentially 30%. What was it? If you're 3x long, how much does that have to go down by? I think that was the question. Yeah, 33%. I'm listening. I thought this was you actually you asking. Oh, right, Josh Moreau. No, that was for my Sunday show. Your Kahoot is not showing. That was from Sunday. Andrew says update video title maybe. Yeah, thanks for suggesting it. It's just we're going to keep it as Ripple CEO. We might end this, come back if Trump speaks with a different video. Any thoughts on Vivo Power stock? Yeah, I like Vivo Power. Again, not a large part of my portfolio. I think it's a very small company. They might succeed, they might not succeed, but I do have money in Vivo Power stock. I like it. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's sort of an XRP treasury company that uses XRP within their systems as well. And they're pledged to buy, I think, $100 million worth of XRP. Media digitalization says, far too much liquidity flowing into crypto for the bear market to begin. 3 months more at least. He wants to speak before market close, literally 100%. I guess he'll start at 40-50, right? You think he's going to start in 5 minutes or 15 minutes? Welcome, Nada. Yeah, everyone's welcome in Nada. I am a he. Yes, Nada. Nada or nada? That's my next question. If it's nada, put 1 in the chat. If it's nada, put 2 in the chat. Nada or nada? Nada or nada? If it's nada, put number 2. If it's nada, put number 1. Thank you. First time I ever joined anything on YouTube. Wales, UK. Oh, lovely. You're from the UK as well. Yes, I'm from the UK as well. Nada or nada? That's what I need to know. Do you and Sensei work together? I don't know what you mean. Do you and Sensei work together? I work with Martyn and Vass. I'm the only Sensei here. Congratulations, Nada or Nada? Whatever you like it to be. Nada. Okay, I'll call you Nada. I don't know why it'll be whatever I want it to be. It's whatever your name is. No tax on crypto lot. I'm here. Do you crypto trade with LLC business account? No, I don't. And if you do you think you should be considering a video on how to do it at a class member? I'm not even from the US, so I wouldn't be able to. I'm not a tax advisor, so I wouldn't even suggest commenting on that. Whatever you like it to be, Sensei. Yeah, Nick Jones, don't worry about it. I forgot to change something. Anyway, let me. Been running all day. Let me go back to Trump. I think we're going to end the show and then come back if Trump is speaking. So that's what I'll do now. But anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Trump was supposed to speak. If he comes back, I just need to go check on my wife. I might do another stream. Do I set up the stream now? What you're going to go to now, this stream is going to take you back to Fed Nada. Number 2. Anyway, this stream is going to take you back to Fed Waller. He was speaking earlier, and remember, Fed Waller is someone who's could be the next pick of Fed chair. So this will take you directly there. I'll give you the link to that show as well. Go and watch that. And if Trump comes live, if you've got your notifications on, keep an eye on the channel. I might come back live, but I might not. I need to see. I need to go have some lunch / dinner with my wife. I'll see how happy she is. Let me give you the link of where this show is automatically going to as well. If Trump starts now, it might be good, but I don't think he is. So here is the link. That's where the show's going to automatically take you to. Remember, I'm live every single day, 2 hours before the opening bell. So if I'm not live later, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 2 hours before the opening bell, to give you the newsletter and also to give you all the thoughts for the market. It is earnings season now, so if anyone starts looking at these earnings and wants them to be covered, then all you have to do is a $10 super chat and we'll cover earnings. We did 2 earnings this morning. Tomorrow's earnings are TSM, USB. We've got United Airlines that's moved to tomorrow, and Interactive Brokers. If anyone wants any of them covered, or Amex, then you can do a $10 super chat. Then again, next week is Coca-Cola, Tesla, Netflix, you can do the super chats for them as well. So I'm going to end the show. Trump hasn't started speaking. I might be back later. If I'm not back later, I'll be back tomorrow. This is going to take you to FedWaller. That's a link to FedWaller. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, there's a link. I apologize. Trump hasn't come live. Not my fault. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.